All right, here's my new Predator 3200 PSI that I just bought, and I'm going to put it together, go over some of the details, what I like about it, and show some use cases on how I'm going to use it, and a couple of upgrades to go along with it. So I won't bore you with assembling it and taking it out of the box and whatever. Uh, when you come back, it'll be all together, and I'll go over what I like about it and what I've done with it. All right, I figure I'd jump in here and show you. I'm filling the oil in the crankcase. They do give you a nice little uh, funnel. I wish it was like an inch or two longer to get it up above the wheel, because it kind of using my larger container. A little tricky getting it without it catching the edge and dripping down. So not a big deal, but it does thread into the bottom. So that's nice. Then you have the dipstick over here on this side. Check your oil. And it's supposed to just put it in without threading it and checking to see where you're at. And to be honest, just fill it in until it starts dribbling out. Check it, and if you think it's a little too full, you can tilt the thing and spill some out, and you should be good. It didn't take a lot to spill out for it to appear to be full. So, I think just filling it up until it pours out is good enough. But you can do it however you like. So I just thought I'd pop in and show you that. And then here's the pump, and I put on a dump valve. I'll show you why I'm doing that for, if you don't already know, and you might. There's a lot of videos out there on it. Anyway, I'm going to continue on. All right, so here it is, completely assembled. Didn't take much to assemble it. It pretty much came assembled out of the box. The handle was folded over. Everything was there as far as tips go. Just had to put in these holders. This is for the hose. This is for the wand. And if anyone can tell me what this is for, I'd appreciate it. I have no idea. The reasons why I bought this Predator over the next thing I was going to buy, which was a Simpson 3400, is the reviews were one, but what swayed me to this one is there's a 90-day return window. So if it's still working after what I'm going to be using it for, I think I'm good to go. But I got it also just in general because it got good reviews. The engine is good. If you look on Harbor Freight's website, you'll see they sell this engine standalone, like a few other engines that they have in their other products. But the standalone engine got solid reviews, 4 and 5 stars, no 1, 2, or 3. So, that's a good indication the engine is good, because who doesn't like to go somewhere and complain that something broke? Another thing I like about this is the pump is designed by a American manufacturer, that's in the pressure washing industry, and you can research that if you like. Although it is probably made in China, but a lot of things are made in China that are good as long as they're from an American or foreign company producing it there for quality control. So that's the second reason I purchased this pressure washer. Other than that, the form factor is what I want and looks good. So what I'm going to do here, and so what I have here is I have a dump valve to keep water running through the pump while the wand is not in use. So you use the wand, you use it, but when you take your, when you're not using the wand and the machine's running, it'll dump the water and that'll still circulate cold water through the pump, just so it doesn't, just for longevity. Because a big thing with these pressure washers is if you let them idle without pulling the wand, then the pump heats up and degrades it essentially to where maybe you're going to have issues. So that's why I got a dump valve. I got uh, a gauge. So what I'm unsure of is I'm going to load this down all the way. It's a 4500 dump valve. So if I crank it all the way down to the 4500 mark, I would essentially let the stock valve operate freely, so I can get an accurate reading on the stock valve, and then I'll adjust the dump valve slightly lower, because I believe that's how it works. It has to be lower than whatever the stock is for it to dump and do its job. But I'm not an expert, and that's my theory just from watching YouTube, and no one really explains that as far as how that goes, as far as uh, setting the valve. You see them where they put the gauge in line with this, and then they put the gauge in line with that. I just want to put the gauge in line and not have to do that back and forth, but maybe have to do that. We'll see. So right now I have it cranked down. I got the water on. It's going through the end of the tip. I'm going to leave it clear because I also saw, watching YouTube, uh, whatever may be in there, either from manufacturing or putting on the valve or some, it'll blow out whatever little bits, if there are any little bits, through the wand before putting on a tip and clogging a tip and just getting whatever out of there if you had to. And then another thing someone mentioned in a video that I gave some weight to is to use just the zero pencil spray to do your adjustments as far as setting your dump valve. So you saw me. I put oil in it. Just put gas in it. It says add fuel stabilizer. Whether that's for storage or in general operation, who knows? I haven't read the manual yet. and and so I just use gas that had stabilizer in it anyway. I have 2 5 gallons that I have sitting around for in case with stabilizer in it. So I use that gas, put it in, and I haven't started it yet. So here is the maiden start of this Predator. So there's no prime bulb on this. So I'm just gonna cycle it a couple of times and then turn it on. So much for starting on the first pull. Okay, I'm back. And all right, I own up to it. I'm a dummy. Need to turn the switch on. Now I haven't tried it since then, so we're gonna see what happens. All right, 2029 down to about 26. 32.
Okay, so bottom line with the dump valve is crank it all the way in for full power of the machine you have, or back it off for lighter work if that's what you want. As far as using a gauge like I have set up to see what it is, it's not necessary.
All right, I got my steel articulating 45-degree head and turbo nozzle that got off Amazon. And one of the things I want to do, aside from doing the roof, is getting the grunge off of the pool tile without too much of a headache. So let's see how this works. I did it before with my old one, kind of tired. It did an acceptable job, but we'll see how this new one and how easy it comes off. I really had to work with the other one, but this one should hopefully at least make it an easier job. So let's see what happens. Kind of tough doing it one-handed. All right, we'll let that dry and see how it looks, and show you what it did. All right, we'll let that dry and see how it looks. All right, hopefully it's coming through on the camera. So that's kind of what it did. Cleaned it up. I can do a little better on that. I wasn't really uh, concentrating too hard. I mean, it was kind of hard holding the phone in that. So once I get in the pool, I'll do all the sides. And you see a little bit where I did in the corner. And also over here, I did some here just to test it out. So I'll show you another pic once it's all complete.
Here's a final overview of the pool. It looks better in person. Filming it doesn't make it look as good, but it is much improved, and I'm happy with the results.
All right, here we are on the roof. I'm gonna go ahead and this is my next project with this thing, or power washer. We'll see how it does and go from there. All right, end of the season. Did what I had to do. So got to change your oil, like they say, at the end of the season. I'm not going to drain the tank. Never had any issues with that. So I'm just going to go with that. So what I'm going to do, there's two drain holes or plugs. There's one there on that side, and then there's one down here on that side. So you can drain it from each side. That's what I'm assuming. So I did use a number 10 millimeter socket, swivel, and a long extension. And I already broke it loose, but took a little bit to break it loose, so it's not on there lightly. Uh, so I'll just take this out. And have a long screw. Oh, hold on. What is that? So, wow, so that's quite interesting. Huh. All right, so it's draining through that slot, which is, I'm assuming why that slot's there. And actually, it came out. I don't know if I had water in it. I got water in it. Uh, or what? Or gas? I don't know about gas. Maybe. Could be. It didn't smell like gas. But anyway, uh, there it is. I drained it out. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and fill or backfill and flush, if you will. So, yep, it's coming out. And so, yeah, when I first popped that bolt, I thought, gosh, is that a water passage or something? All right. But evidently, uh, I don't know what. But anyway, it ran fine. I don't know why that was like that. Maybe, I don't know how water can get in there, but maybe it can. So, or maybe there's just some stuff that was in there from manufacturing. Who knows? But went in and just purged it out a little bit. And once it's all out or all drained, I'll go ahead and put that plug back in and refill it. So you can drain it from here. It still kind of catches the frame and stuff, so you'll have to do some wipe up. I just use a metal tin, aluminum tin, cooking tin that I had out here for whatever I was using it for. And I just put the fill tube on the opposite side. It's supposed to fill it on the other side. It wasn't easy to get it in there and cranked in, but you can do it. It's not too difficult, but it's, got to work at it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and finish draining this, filling it, and I'll be right back. All right, got that side off and put it on this side. Brought it up, and I'm using a little funnel just to make it easier. So I'm just going to fill it up until it spills out the other side, Should be good. All right, there we go. You got the pan there, catch whatever's dribbling out. We'll let that settle out. And take this off. Put it on a rag. Take this out. And then put this in. Not too overly tight because it's just all plastic. It doesn't even feel high quality. All right. So I got down there. It's all wiped up. Bolts back in. This one is dribbling out. And you know what? To be honest, with how they have you check this darn thing, I think that's all. I think I've said it previously here. I think once it starts spilling out, we're good. Or dribbling out. Because there we go. All right, got that in there. Don't worry about checking it with the funky dipstick design. That's it. So oil is changed. And a little spill taking that cap off previously because whatever went in there was too much for it. So just having the oil dribble out, I don't think is going to hurt it because it was running with even more than that in there. Maybe they account for that, but I don't know. So there's the oil change for the end of the season. All right, here it is, and it's rest in place for whenever I need it next. I'll throw the cover on it and be done with it. All right, cover's on it. Keep the rain off of it. And if it lasts even half as long as my Craftsman, I'll be happy. So that should be about 15 years of this lasting. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it.